Dear comrade, we are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted into the Revolutionary School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Your term starts today. Your first lesson begins now. There are several truths that we must acknowledge that are essential to your survival in the wizarding world. The underlying fact is that white men and women are extremely skilled in the dark arts. This is a cautionary tale to the curses they can conjure, to the spells they can speak into existence, to the hexes rooted in their heartlessness and that are ultimately meant to dehumanize, to the charms that have brought about dark chapters on this land's history. Do not be fooled by the things that white men can materialize, like building freeways or bridges that connect cities to cities. Those structures are meant to erase familial ties to land. What they call urban development is actually a curse to separate families and neighbors from each other and from the earth. We must understand the history of how their spells have been written into human law. For example, the displacement curse. In the 1940s, over 200 residential buildings were demolished to make room for the Santa Ana Freeway in Boyle Heights. This was made possible because of the dark charms city planners used to label the neighborhood as a slum or blighted. Dark magic convinced society that residents would supposedly benefit from these new connections. Example number 2, the erasure curse. Before Dodger Stadium, there was Chavez Ravine, 315 acres of land that were home to Mexican Americans who built community during a time of racial housing discrimination. In the 1950s, generations of families were forcibly removed or charmed with money to make room for a baseball stadium. White men have tried to cast memory charms so that we forget this history, so that we forget how they have misused their magic, so we don't remember the homes and communities that Black, Indigenous people of color have built with their bare hands. I know it's scary to see how white men have convinced some people who look like you and me to strive for the wealth that they have, to transform the communities we're from so that they emulate a white American dream. They will teach us their spells from ivory towers or from the clouds, and some of us are compelled to use the same charms and hexes they conjure for our own self-gain. They will show us their innovations in magic, but never acknowledge where they actually draw their powers from. The temptation is real because you are witness to the lives they have, the material things they can afford, the institutions they have built for themselves, but you are also witness to the destruction that they have caused. Although white wizards and witches' powers seem limitless, they ultimately bring about their own demise because their creations and ways of living are not sustainable, because their wands and charmed objects can easily be broken, because their magic only creates illusions of grandeur. The suburbs or hillside homes they created, where indigenous peoples cautioned them not to build, are now burning. When he who shall not be named allowed over 200,000 individuals to die from a pandemic that was preventable, the full moon finally revealed herself and hexed him and his henchmen with the same disease. Their magic brings about the dark creatures living within and among us, the creatures who do not value Black lives, the creatures who are territorial about who enters and leaves the land that they stole, the creatures who do not want you to know about the past because they are afraid of how it may inspire or agitate you. White men and women have labeled us as beasts, but little do they know that yes, we are beasts, but fantastic ones. We are beasts who understand each other's cries. We alone know how to heal ourselves or how to undo harm and havoc caused. We are fantastic beasts that cannot and should not be tamed. The hope in this wizarding world lies not in the magic of white men and women, but in yours. Our ancestors have left us spells that white wizards and witches have appropriated or have attempted to erase, but oppression breeds resistance. Their memory charms are no match for your experience, for your knowledge, for our shared struggle. Your magic should not be used to displace, to erase, or to oppress. We do not use our magic at the expense of others, because when we do, we limit our imagination, we limit our potential. This is a call to be critical of the curses we can conjure, of the spells we speak into existence, of the hexes we must work to heal ourselves and others from. This is a call to confront the charms that have brought about dark chapters on this stolen land's history. Comrade, do not let white power bewitch you. Do not let capitalist illusions bewitch you. The temptation is real, but we are all witness to the destruction that dark magic has caused. The underlying fact is that white men and women are extremely skilled in the dark arts, but they are no match for our people power and our collective desire to reimagine and to heal. Thank you, everyone.